Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Abby again, and we're going to be doing another science experiment that you can do at home with pollution. And this one's going to be a little bit more different than our last video on oil spills. This video is going to be more on how you can see and smell, or maybe not see or smell, pollutants that are in the air, the water, or different areas around you. Okay guys, so just like the last video, I showed you the different things you're going to need for this science experiment. I'm going to show you again, but remember to always ask for your parents' permission and to have their help with doing any type of science experiment. So the first thing you're going to need is some type of jar. It could be a cup or anything like that, but I'm going to use these mason jars, and you're going to need 3 of them. But if you're using something with glass like this, be sure your parents are around to help you in case the glass breaks so you don't cut yourself. And then the next thing you're going to need is a pitcher of water. We're going to be pouring this pitcher into the different jars of water, so be sure you have your parents' help pouring that. And then you're going to need some type of table salt in your house. It doesn't matter what kind. And then you're going to need some vinegar. I know most of you have vinegar in your house around this time of year for coloring Easter eggs. And then you're going to need some food coloring. It doesn't matter what color, it could be anything, but I'm going to be using red. So let's get started with the experiment. Okay guys, so one of the things that you're going to learn in 3rd grade is how pollution is all around us, and there's different types of pollution. Maybe we can see the pollution, smell it, or maybe you can't see or smell it. So one of those pollutants is that you can see maybe some type of form of smog, which you can see right here in cities where there's a lot of factories and industry. The machines produce these bad gases and fog up the air in these cities where you can't see very well, and this is one type of pollution you can see. There can also be natural causes of pollution that you can see, like this volcano eruption, which humans can't really control or do anything about, but they can help clean up. So I'm about to show you how you can see this different types of pollution. So you're going to take your glass jar and your water, and you're going to pour it in. And we're going to pretend, you can pretend that this water is the air around you, or the water like we had our oil spills. But I'm going to use this red colored food, and you can use about 1 or 2 drops. And we see that just a little bit might spread out into different areas. It just takes a little bit from one place and it goes out and affects other areas. But what's important about seeing this is you can actually see this type of pollution. And this pollution is probably the best type of pollution because we can actually see it and be aware of it when it happens and do more to help prevent it from spreading, because we can see it and see when to start acting on it. So we've seen an example of how you can see pollution, and I'm going to show you that pollution can also be invisible, but you can still smell this pollution, like a gas leak from maybe you have a gas log fireplace, or maybe the stove in your home has a gas leak in it and you can smell it. And this is very dangerous because if there are any fires, or like if you light a candle in your house, it can cause an explosion. So I'm going to show you an example of how maybe you can't see pollution, but you can smell it. So you're going to pour your water into your another jar. It's your 2nd jar. And remember, this is going to represent air or water that's clean and around us. And I really want to challenge you guys to perform this experiment so you can really see this part of the experiment, because you're going to take your vinegar, and if many of you have never been around vinegar, it smells. It has a really strong smell. So by doing this experiment, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So you're going to take your vinegar, and you're going to pour that in. And as you can see, you can't see this pollution. So this pollution might be more dangerous. Ooh, that smells. But this pollution is more dangerous than the pollution we could see with the food coloring, but it smells so bad, but we might not be able to see where to attack and prevent this pollution from spreading, so because we can't see it. So most of the time this pollution is more expensive to stop because you have to call in a professional to come help clean up this type of pollution. Okay, so our third and final type of pollution we're going to talk about today is pollution that you can't see or smell. So one of the most common pollutants that you can't see or smell, you may or may not have heard of it, is carbon monoxide. And many homes have carbon monoxide monitors in their homes to alert the family that lives in the home if there's carbon monoxide present in the air. And this carbon monoxide you can't see, you can't smell it, and it's very dangerous to breathe into your lungs. It's poisonous. So, like I said, this pollutant is very dangerous because you don't know if you're being affected by it, and you don't know when you can start to prevent it from spreading. So we're going to take our third and final jar and pour water into it. And we're going to take our salt. Remember, it doesn't have to be any type of salt, just normal salt. And we're going to pour it into our water. And you might have to stir it in your jar so this is what happens when the poison begins to get mixed into the air and the atmosphere. We're doing right here. You can't see it. And I can't smell it at all in here. So if I thought this was just a normal glass of water, I could drink it and think it was a normal glass of water, and I would be surprised when I thought there was salt in it. So I can't smell it, can't see it, and this is one of the dangerous traits of pollution. Okay guys, so we talked about the different types of pollutions that maybe you can see, smell, or maybe you can't see or smell the pollution. So we're going to go back to the pollution that we could see, and remember that this pollution is probably the easiest pollution to catch when it's entered into the atmosphere, and we can help stop the spread of this pollution and help to clean it up faster by able to catch it and prevent it from spreading. So the second one, which smells really bad, I smell it from here, was the vinegar and the water that we put together. And I really want you guys to help perform this experiment, and so you can smell and see how bad that these pollutants do affect water, even though you can't see it. So this pollution is a little bit worse than the pollution we can see because we might not be able to see it at first, but once the smell gets bad enough, we can start to attack it and prevent it from spreading. And then the third and final pollution that we talked about was the pollution you can't see or smell, and we know that this is the most dangerous pollution because we would not be able to know if this pollutant was around us if it wouldn't be for alarms like the carbon monoxide alarm. So, like I said earlier, if I didn't know there was salt in here, I would think this is just normal water and drink it, and that would be harmful to me. So, these are the different ways that pollution is around us, and I want you guys to comment down below, do you think there's any other ways that pollution can be around us? And maybe how do you see these 3 different types of pollution in your city around you? Bye guys.